Okay, what is going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
What's going on is we are right on time, and I don't see anybody giving us credit for it.
Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit. I'm right in you guys' face. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. That's a little better. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be that aggressive. Okay, not right out the gate. Okay. Yeah, Danity usually is there with the stopwatch. Right when we're late. There was a time when we would start at 7:15 on the dot, and if we were 2 seconds late, you guys will let us know.
And I'm just saying that personally, I respond to positive reinforcement, not ticking clocks like where y'all at. How about hey, good job for being here on time. No, thank you, appreciate
Yes.
that, Urban Chase.
Appreciate it. Closer. Thank you, Urban. Man. Yes. All right, y'all. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So wherever you are watching us, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio podcast, it is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Make sure you leave that five-star review for your boys because we're trying to grow on that side. All right. Who do we have in the chat? Yolanda B in the house is good evening, LBHT family. Good evening. Ravens Talk with Yolanda, who just hit 1,000 subscribers. Clap emojis for Yolanda. Salute. She's going to hit 2,000 real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. She's doing great things over there. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. Our brother Davon's in the house. Our cousin Davon. Hashtag LBHT crew. What's going on? Oh, yeah. Bryce is back, baby. We're going to talk about that. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Did you see the thumbnail? He looks so happy. He might have his swag back. And I'm sorry. Urban was actually first. He said, the first Jose and Brodny sent me. Yes, appreciate you. You are the first. Our guy D Weezy's in the house. D Weezy says Dalton sidelined by a car crash with a sprained thumb, like we didn't already know he wasn't Superman. Yeah. Zeke Okage, what's good? Says, what's good, LBHT family? What's good with you? Thanks for coming through. Okay, everybody's starting to come in here. Big Cuz 410, what's going on? He's in the house. Our guy Hendo from the Roll Pod. Shout out to Hendo, man. Hendo just put out a video. Hendo's putting out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all fire, and I'm glad you're doing it, Hendo, man. I'm proud of you. You're inspiring us because there's some days where I don't want to do anything. And I see a Hendo video and I'm like, man, let me go do something. Okay. Let me be productive today. All right. So I appreciate you, Hendo. Who else we got in the house? Osmond. Our guy Osmond. Salute to Osmond. Says, hey, Jose, Brodny, and all in the chat. Yes, indeed. Just Aloes in the house says, what's up, LBHT crew? A 5th round pick is all it took. Oh, we're going to talk about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot to talk about, but we kind of do. Yeah. All right. We got a lot to unpack, I would say. Explore more 704 says Bryce Young over under 90 passing yards.
Disrespectful, and I'll take the under.
I'm going over.
The Denver defense is tough.
It is tough. It is. You have an excellent coach, though. It doesn't look like it right now, but I think you have an excellent coach in Dave Canales. Keenan Ricketts, what's going on? Says Bills, Chiefs, and Jets got wide receivers, and what are we doing? We're gonna talk about it, Keenan. I be saying, salute says, is the Titans owner the biggest KC super fan, or is he the biggest Ravens hater? Oh, good question. All right, we'll talk about it. Clock is in the building. Salute Clock. Thanks for coming through. All right. We caught up on everybody that's here so far. More people are going to be coming in. Appreciate y'all. Look, if you're looking for a super chat, I know you guys are because you like supporting the show, right? We do super chat a little differently. Although we are speaking with management about activating the super chat. We're talking about it. But for now, okay, there are 2 ways you can do it. That pin link that you see in the chat box and that QR code, which will take you to our Cash App, which is $LBHT Show. Okay. works better than a super chat. It's better. We give you an animation on the screen, right? You get to see Microphone Man doing the Park Heights strut. At least that's what it's supposed to be. All right. But, it's animation. Okay. And it's the same way. You just leave a donation, leave a comment. We'll read your comment right on air. Ravens Girl, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Salute. Danity. There's Danity. There's Danity.
What's up, Danity?
We were talking about how you used to hold us accountable if we were 2 seconds late with the little watch emoji. But you're here now. And there's the Cash App. $ LBHT Show. Big Reg, what's good? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Reg?
Slicer59 says, I'm so sick of the Chiefs. I feel you. All right. And the crew that was watching Coach and Chris is here. The Juan100 says, Coach sent me. What up, fam? What's good with you? Thanks for coming through. Living Legend in the house. Salute. Make sure you check out Living Legend. Like it says right there, that picture right there, that's from that's not his latest album. I think you got another album that you just put out, but a great local producer. Okay, so go check out his work on Spotify. I think you got it some other places too, but I know it's on Spotify because I've listened to it. Raven C, what's good? Says we right here like DMX. That's right. Salute to Raven C. Raven C's link is in our description as well. We got a whole crew of people that we rock with. So I want you guys to support all of them. All right.
Raven C happy after what Boston did last night.
Oh, here go Chris starting something. Says Bobby and Sarah said. Shout out to our brother Chris, man. Salute to you. Ravenville, what's good? Killer Cam says Hola Jose. And yes, mucho gusto, Brodny.
As always, nice to meet you, Cam.
Yes.
Appreciate you coming through
every week. And there's Coach. Says Coach and Chris sent me. Yep.
What's up, Coach?
Appreciate you, Coach. As always, man. Thanks for coming through. Coach was at the game. He was at the Ravens game on Monday. He got to see DDSQ down there. Got a picture together, man. I love that picture, man. I love meeting you guys in person. The people that we interact with. We got to meet a lot of people at the meet and greet. Just Allo, Danity, just a whole bunch of people. Really appreciate you guys coming through. What are you laughing at?
Raven C talking about he afraid of Brodny. He went off last night. You gonna be afraid come June? I'll tell you that. You can make your jokes now. But y'all ain't even getting out the East, so I'm happy for you. You got your championship last year, though. Happy for you.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not.
We gotta talk about that too, because we've been talking about I forget his name now.
The Celtics?
Not Brown. Tatum. I was thinking about Jaylen Brown. I was like, we've been talking about Jason Tatum and him needing to get over that hump to get a title, and he gets one. And it's just like,
now play better.
Yeah.
now contribute to the title.
Now play like a non-role player. By the way, go to the Olympics and hold everybody's bags.
It's like we talked before. Hey, I got my degree. Cool. Now go learn something.
Yes, we did have a conversation about that earlier. All right, we have a lot to unpack here. Okay, there's a trade that went down. There's some more trades that we are hoping will happen, or at least one trade we're hoping will happen. We're gonna talk about that. We got the return of King Bryce. All right. Will he be more successful this time around? We'll see. And we got an interesting court of public opinion. This should go quick, but we're going to unpack that too and get you guys' thoughts on it. All right, but first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B and Okole have a Black History fact for you.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. The United Socialists were a unique group of black tenant farmers who emerged in early 20th century Oklahoma and were led by preacher William Wright. known as the Anarchist. At a time when the American West was transitioning into the 20th century, this group stood out due to their radical beliefs and actions. They were convinced that property should be communal, meaning that anyone could use any piece of land or resources without paying for it or fearing repercussions from the government. This belief was not just about land. It was a statement against the existing socio-economic system that marginalized and oppressed black farmers. Their most significant moment of defiance was during the Green Corn Rebellion in 1907. This event took place in southeastern Oklahoma and saw the United Socialists rise up against local law enforcement and federal troops. The rebellion was named after their intention to live off the green corn they found along the way as they marched toward Washington, D.C., hoping to stop the war and initiate socialist reforms. During the Green Corn Rebellion, the United Socialists clashed violently with law enforcement. The rebellion was quickly suppressed, resulting in deaths and numerous arrests. Despite the rebellion's failure, it drew national attention to their plight and highlighted the severe social and economic inequalities faced by black tenant farmers. The United Socialists' brief but notable existence shone a light on the resilience and determination of black farmers to fight against systemic oppression. Their defiance was not just a call for better living conditions, but a bold statement against the unjust socio-economic system of their time. The legacy of their struggle underscores the historical and ongoing battles against inequality and justice within the African American community.
All right. Salute to that Black History fact. Look, we got some more people in here. MDT Sports, salute to you, says, we ain't getting Myles Garrett. We can get Max Crosby. We'll talk about that in 1 second. I don't disagree with you, but that doesn't mean you don't try, right? We'll discuss that in a second. We got to switch scenes here. Are you ready to get into some NFL talk, B?
Why not?
All right. Got the animations back working again. Got microphone man. He's excited, slamming the football. All right.
He ain't heard
So,
Bryce's back yet.
He heard Bryce's back. That's why he's excited.
He ain't heard Bryce's back yet.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Bryce or you want to start with the Ravens?
We can talk about Bryce real quick.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, Andy Dalton, the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers recently, was in a car accident. Thankfully, they said everybody was okay. None of his family had to go to the hospital or anything like that. But, the Carolina Panthers management said, opportunity. And now they're saying there's a problem with his thumb. He's not going to be starting this week. They're going back to Bryce Young for this week's game against the Broncos. And, I don't know what the point is. I'm not sure if Tepper is meddling. I'm not sure if, maybe they've seen some improvement from Bryce, or maybe they're just tired of the Andy Dalton show. I wouldn't be surprising either. But you're throwing him back out there, and the O-line has been playing well this season, right? But the Broncos are second in the league in sacks. They've got 28 sacks through the first 7 weeks, which is a lot of sacks through 7 weeks. I feel like if you thought your young quarterback was shell shocked from all of the hits he took, maybe don't put him out there against one of the best pass rushing teams in the NFL. That's just me. They obviously have different thoughts on the situation. Maybe they see this as an opportunity to get a win. Because Bo Nix is starting on the other side, and they don't really put a whole lot of points up. I don't know. I'm surprised. I didn't think that we would really see Bryce back in a starting role this season. Now, granted, again, Andy Dalton has been horrible the last couple of weeks. But still,
you throw a pick six on your first pass attempt. That doesn't help.
I mean, he didn't throw another one, did he?
He tried to.
All right, but he didn't.
Okay, so
Hopefully things are, hopefully Bryce has regained a little bit of confidence. Maybe he settles down a little bit and he starts to look better and he can go out there and get some more experience. I don't see it after just a couple weeks. But
well, it's been about 5 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
About 5 weeks. Okay. There's two trains of thoughts here. You said, it's possible that David Tepper has been meddling. If that's the case, this is the perfect game to bring Bryce back, right? If you're of the thought that, or you meaning Canales,
mm-hmm.
he doesn't belong out there, but the owner is saying put him out there, he can't be any worse than what Andy Dalton has done or is doing, then okay, we're playing the Broncos this week. They have all the sacks in the world. Throw him out there and let's see if he can overcome that, right? Or Dave Canales is saying, yes, he got off to a very bad start. The game was too fast for him initially. He needed just to sit down, let the game slow down a little bit. He's been practicing well, like you said. It's it's possible. And yeah, Andy Dalton just can't give us any more. He gave us a little spark initially, and now he's coming back down to earth. Now, this car accident is convenient, right? Mm-hmm. The thumb injury, I don't know what injury will keep you from playing this week, but you'll be fine next week. I don't know what injury you can get that will keep you out for 1 week only. Okay, this is all right, Bryce. We're not totally giving up on you yet. This is an opportunity. If you have anything, now's the time to show it, right? Whatever counseling he needed during that time, coaching, because I think it's a confidence thing too. I think it's 5 weeks of building up his confidence. Now it's time to go out there. We have your back. Go out there and have fun. The O-line is going to protect you, even against this tough defense. The O-line is a good O-line.
Yeah,
that's the one shining thing that you have on the team right now. And you can run the ball. It doesn't matter if it's a tough game. You're not trying to. I mean, you're playing to win, but
But
it's not.
No, right. Nobody's expecting you to win.
It's not expected. So go out there, play loose, have fun, and let's see what you got, and let's try to build off of that. So
yeah, and hopefully that's what he does, and he goes out there and he's able to just kind of let the ball go and just see what he has. I don't even particularly care if he turns the ball over at this point, as long as, there are other plays where he looks like an NFL quarterback, because that's just what was missing before. And it seemed too scared or too conservative to throw the ball down the field. So I really would like to see him just be able to stand in the pocket and just play, without kind of over processing things. Big Cuz says, where is the rookie running back for Carolina, talking about Jonathan Brooks, drafted in the second round out of Texas. They just opened his 21-day window. He started the season on PUP. He tore his ACL late in the college season last year. So he is going to be back, within the next couple of weeks. But for right now, they're still rolling with Chuba, obviously.
Yeah.
Clot saying that Carolina needs to go after Cam Ward next year.
B agrees.
Big fan of Cam Ward. Also like Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. I don't think he's quite as ready to play, but I think he's got the skills, the attributes. Do not like the other three quarterbacks who are being talked about in the first round. Now,
I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I can't remember what stream we talked about. Shedeur Sanders. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this, Coach loves Shedeur. I like Shedeur too. And you like his skill set. You have an issue with his attitude, correct?
Yeah, I think he can play. I mean, he has the ability, but he just comes across as very arrogant and immature. Right. And, but again, that's how he kind of looks in the media. And it's just like, I don't know him. I'm not going to get to know him, but that's part of the process leading up to the draft. They're going to meet with him. They're going to interview him. They're going to try to get a sense of who he is as a person. And if they don't have a problem with his attitude or his maturity level, then I wouldn't be upset about drafting Shador. Because, yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are like that early on and they grow up. It's just that some don't.
Now, I kind of wanted to point him out because when you say you don't like the other three, he's not in the same category as the other two that you just don't think are good.
The other two, I don't want them.
Right, right.
They're those, like, I just no, thank you to Quinn and Carson. I don't, people get their feelings hurt when you say fraud, but they appear to be frauds to me. I don't want them anywhere near Carolina. I don't think that Shador is a fraud on the field.
Right.
I'm just not sure that he is ready to step up and be the face of a franchise and the leader of an NFL team.
Right. Okay. All right. That's fair.
As for the game itself, this would be kind of one of the weeks where, you would think that Carolina has a chance to win. They've got Deontay Johnson. He's getting a little frustrated, going out there saying he can't play all the positions. Like he's putting in so much work at the one that he has to play. But they do have some talent on offense. Chuba is playing well. Like I said, Deontay Johnson's out there. Leggett has shown flashes here and there. They open up the practice window for Adam Thielen as well. So you would think, hey, maybe they'll be able to move the ball a little bit, get some points on the board against Denver. And with Bo Nix on the other side, maybe they'll be able to take advantage of the rookie, force some turnovers. No, not with this defense. Not with this. The defense is awful. Now, Grant, it's not all on the players themselves or the coach. They've got a lot of major injuries on the defense, and at some point, you're just not really going to be able to bounce back. Right. They're missing pretty much every key player except J.C. Horn, so it's just not really it's not a viable unit at this point.
And D. Weezy says Chuba Hubbard is 5th in rushing yards in the NFL. Silver lining. He's playing well.
I guess I don't find it to be a silver lining myself, but that's fine. That's good for him. I'm just saying. Yeah. Listen. I'm saying 5th in the league in rushing or not. Okay. Let's say Jonathan Brooks comes back next week, so week 9, right?
Yeah.
If he's not the starter by the end of the season, that would be an extreme disappointment.
So you got him in the second round, right?
You drafted him in the second round to be your starting running back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because we presume he has more playmaking ability. That's what that's what we think, right? So we'll see what's going on, Rave Kingdom. Thanks for coming through.
What's going on, Rave?
So yeah, I don't think they win the game either, but it's not about that. It's just about how's Bryce going to look. I kind of feel like he'll play better, right? I don't think the door's completely closed on Bryce Young. Dave Canales knows how to rehab quarterbacks. He did it with Baker Mayfield, right? Got Baker Mayfield a $100 million contract.
He did.
I think he can do that with Bryce Young. Bryce Young just got to a really bad start. And I think that kind of bled over from the previous season. Now that he's got to sit for a few weeks, we'll see. But I think it's going to be a more positive showing this time.
I'll say this: you can't fix something that just wasn't that wasn't up to par to begin with, right? Yeah. So it's possible that Bryce just isn't an NFL quarterback.
Yes,
and you can't fix that because he didn't fix Baker Mayfield. Baker is still Baker, as we've seen over the last few weeks.
Right now he is. He wasn't that when Canales was there.
No. But that's what I'm saying. He didn't fix him. He put him in positions to maximize his strengths and hide his weaknesses, which is what coaching is about.
Yes,
you don't fix players. You put them in positions to succeed. And that's what he did for Baker Mayfield, and he was successful, and he got his contract. Congratulations, Baker. Now Dave Canales is gone, and Baker said, I'm a Baker, though. I'm going to go Baker whenever I feel like it. And, so if Bryce doesn't have the ability to be an NFL quarterback, there's nothing that Dave Canales could do about that. My suspicion is they're going to go out there. They're going to have him throw a lot of short passes. have a high completion percentage. Hope that Leggett and Deontay can break a few plays, break a few tackles, gain some yards, get a nice stat line, and see if they can unload him before the trade deadline.
Oh,
But
okay.
We'll see.
All right.
Speaking of trades, the Baltimore Ravens haven't made any. They are going up against the Cleveland Browns this week, who did make a trade a couple weeks ago. They sent Amari Cooper, their number one wide receiver, to the Buffalo Bills. We talked about it, how unfortunate it is that they kind of gave up on the season because Deshaun Watson doesn't know how to play football anymore. And then as soon as they trade their number one wide receiver, Deshaun Watson's out for the year. And is being replaced by Jameis Winston. This should be a very, very easy game for Baltimore.
I don't know, man. Like, I think they might be tougher without Deshaun Watson, right? Whatever it is, what's the coach's name?
In Buffalo?
No,
Browns. Stefanski.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski. He did an excellent job last year with every other quarterback except Deshaun Watson. Maybe it's that communication thing, or just don't get a chemistry thing. They don't get along. I don't know. But the other quarterbacks, he went through like 4 other quarterbacks. They still made the playoffs. I think Jameis Winston is better than those other quarterbacks, save Flacco, I guess. Right?
Listen. Joe Flacco was awful last year. He was terrible for the Browns. Yeah. It just didn't seem like it because they still won.
Yeah, but Winston isn't good.
No. But I'm just saying, like people kind of sold it like he had this huge resurgence and he came out and he was playing. So he threw like 8 interceptions in 4 games. Like he was bad, but they still won some games, and
Yeah, but my point is, with Jameis out there, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they'll be a lot more competitive. The defense is good, right? The defense is good, and Nick Chubb is back, so I think it's going to be a tougher game than people realize. But they did ship out Amari Cooper, which will help our secondary out a whole lot. Yes, we should win that game. That shouldn't be any real concerns, but I think there'll be parts of the game where it's like, oh, okay, they're making it competitive. This, we got to kind of fight through it, but it should not come down to the fourth quarter, a field goal or anything like that. We should just flat out win the game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It should be no suspense kind of game for Baltimore. I know they haven't had a lot of those, but it's Cleveland, and without Amari Cooper and with Jameis Winston in there, like, I know the defense has been bad, but I just can't imagine them struggling that way against this Cleveland team. Because even Nick Chubb is not. I mean, it's going to be his second game back. His first game, he had 11 carries for 22 yards.
Yeah,
right. And even if he does eventually get back to 100%, that's going to take a little time, and who knows if he's ever going to be that again.
Yeah.
But you're running out there. I think their next top receiver is Cedric Tillman.
I don't even know. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know.
Cedric Tillman had 8 catches for 81 yards last week. They got David Njoku, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy. It's they got every kind of underperforming name that you could think of in that wide receiving core, and so like this should be a get right game for Baltimore's defense.
Yeah. So hopefully, I didn't hear what they said about Marlon Humphrey. Is he going to be playing, or is he going to sit out another week?
I don't think they've said for this week. They said it wasn't a serious injury, and that he was walking around without pain. So hopefully he's able to go, but they haven't, said for sure this week. Why would you let them know? Got to get that competitive advantage. You got to have them preparing for Brandon Stevens and Nate Wiggins, and then, oh my God, Marlo, where did he come from?
Right.
But
right. Okay, so yeah, I think we all agree he didn't practice today because said that's okay.
Yeah, and that could be injury related, or it could just be Marlo's old. Deontay Johnson didn't practice today either, and that's just because they gave him the day off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Tired
So
from
that
carrying the Panthers, apparently.
Rave Kingdom says, question, do you see Ravens getting Cooper Kupp and how you feel about him? All right, so
I'm
let's talk.
glad you asked.
Yes, let's talk about it.
There obviously have been several trades. Devontae Adams to the Jets. We mentioned Amari Cooper to the Bills. DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs for a 5th-round pick that could turn into a 4th. And then there's some defensive players, possibly available. Deontay Johnson sounds like he could be available as well for teams still looking for wide receiver. Cooper Kupp, the Chiefs did try to get Cooper Kupp, but they weren't able to work out a deal with the money. So they kind of moved on and went to DeAndre. So, no, don't see the Ravens getting Cooper Kupp. It's a 2nd-round pick plus money. That equals no go for Eric DeCosta.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I want to rant about DeAndre Hopkins for a minute, right? He wasn't high on my list for need to trade for, right? But he was on the list. And he didn't cost anything. A 5th round that could upgrade to a 4th-round pick. His contract isn't a huge contract. There's no incentive to not go and get him. I don't want to hear anything about, he wouldn't fit what we're doing or anything like that. No, he fits right in. He's a receiver that can do everything. He's older. He's not as good. So he's still better. He's better than everybody on the team. Let's just be real about that. You can look at his stats and everything. Doesn't have great stats this year. He's playing with a terrible quarterback group, right? I feel like him going to the Chiefs, you're going to see more vintage DeAndre Hopkins out there, which he could have looked for us. And even if he didn't, it cost us nothing to do. I thought that was a no-brainer. Cooper Kupp is another person. I don't care about the money. Pay him. I don't care about that 2nd-round pick. We don't do anything with those picks anyway. Right? Pay that and get somebody that has sure hands. That's the issue. That's the only thing I question going into. Excuse me. That's the only thing I question going into the postseason, because obviously we're going to the playoffs, right? Probably win a division. We might be a 1 or 2 seed. But when we get to the playoffs and it's harder for guys to get separation, right? Defense is clamping down on you a little bit more. Who on our team can make those contested catches? Those 50-50 balls that we keep talking about, right? Who can make that on our team? Who do you feel confident in, right? We love Bateman for what he did on Monday night. We all love Zay Flowers. We think he has a lot of playmaking ability. But who do we think is going to really step up this year? All right. Hopkins, even if he lost a step, he can make those type of catches, right? Those clutch catches. Mm-hmm. Those, hey, we got to convert here type catches. That's what we need. I think that's what's missing. Now, like B said, it's very possible that we can just do it without those guys this year, right? Derrick Henry is playing. He's playing better than I thought he was going to play, right? I wasn't sure if he had fallen off a cliff yet or not, right? But he clearly hasn't, and he's playing even better than I thought he would play. He's playing amazing, and that changes how defenses target us. Keaton Mitchell's coming back. That's going to be a bolster to the offense. Justice Hill is playing excellent football. He's a huge plus for this offense. So it is possible that we don't need to go wide receiver here. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. But why take the chance when it costs you nothing to get somebody like DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah.
Now, we got Myles Garrett down there. Myles Garrett is in the thumbnail. MDT Sports said it earlier. There's no way Myles Garrett is going to the Ravens, but Max Crosby is a possibility. Yes, it's a possibility. It's probably not likely that if the rumors are true, they're saying that the Browns are kind of getting a feel for what they can get for Myles Garrett. It will take a lot, but you don't know unless you ask. Right now, you guys know what it is over here. First of all, 90 people in here. Hit that like button if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. All right. If you guys are a fan of the show, You know our motto. Hashtag defund the defense. Okay? Stop putting all your resources into the defense, right? And start spending those resources on the offense. Okay? But there are exceptions to every rule. And obviously, Myles Garrett is an exception. Okay, we're going to suspend that rule for Myles Garrett. If you can get Myles Garrett, you get Myles Garrett.
Yes.
He's a game wrecker. Okay, he's a difference maker. So, yes, if they say, all right, Ravens, I know we're rivals. Tell you what, first round pick and a third round pick or something like that. Because it's going to take a lot to get him, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to train for a second round pick, right? And you're going to have to take on his contract. Done. Yeah. Done. Right? That will tell me that you're serious, and that will go along with their brand of football. They want to play defense. They haven't been doing a lot of that, but they want to play defense and run the ball. You're running the ball a lot, and you want the defense to get better. He will help them get better. He sure will help them get better. Max Crosby, I wouldn't be mad at Max Crosby either. Max Crosby is a game wrecker as well. I don't want to hear about anybody else. I saw somebody put Budda Baker in the chat. Get out of here with that. Get out of my face. I don't have anything against Budda Baker. We better not trade for Budda Baker. We better not trade for Zadarius Smith. That would infuriate me.
Yeah. But hey, listen, if they're not going to trade you Myles because you're in division, they're not going to trade you to Zadarius because you're in division, right?
And if they do,
it's funny
that's telling you something.
Those rules come and go. Absolutely. If Myles Garrett's available, you go get Myles Garrett. Max Crosby, it's going to depend on what exactly what they're asking, but he's another guy. You go after him. A great player. Other than that, man, call Carolina, get yourself a Deontay Johnson. Call up somewhere else. See what receivers available. Man, call all 32 teams and see if there are any O linemen available. Because again, Todd Monken and Harbaugh, we'll give Harbaugh credit here as well. They've done a good job of masking the O line, but they still can't block. And you saw it in spots against Tampa Bay, right, where guys were just running free. They weren't able to pick up blitzes. They were just getting beat one-on-one. So they still have those same issues that we were kind of concerned about in the preseason, but they've just done a great job of masking it. They finally have other guys making plays, other guys not named Lamar. So, it's not 13, 14 plays every drive where your offense is getting exposed eventually. You can score in a couple of plays and then you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you can run 81 yards, on a drive that starts on your own 8, you can have an 81-yard drive or run to start that drive. That takes out all of that middle of the field where bad things can happen to you. Then it's one or two more plays into the end zone. Whereas it used to be, hey, we're going 7 yards at a time down the field. And there's going to be some holding penalties. There's going to be a lot of pressure. There's probably going to be a sack or two. We're going to throw in a drop pass or two, and God willing, we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore because they do have other guys who can make plays on their own independent of Lamar. But you still don't want to go into the postseason and serve Daniel Falalele up on a platter to Chris Jones in a game that you have.
And I don't want to go into the postseason saying, yeah, Rashad Bateman's always open, and then he ain't open. Right. And when he's not open, he can't make those contested catches.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not if he can, great. We haven't seen it. Zay Flowers too, and me and B are very high on Zay Flowers, but we still haven't seen it. Right? I just want a guy that we've seen it from before. That's all. Stunt J says Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson are trash. You are correct, because he was arguing for Budda Baker, and I hear you, right? But if it's Budda Baker or Cooper Kupp, give me Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it's Budda Baker or DeAndre Hopkins, give me DeAndre Hopkins. Like, he's not on the level of Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. And if we're just trading for that caliber of a player, I want that caliber of a player on offense, not defense.
And do y'all remember when you brought in Marcus Williams? It was, we just got arguably the best safety in the league, right?
Yes.
He came in and he played well, and then you went to the playoffs and you couldn't score, and you got eliminated. It didn't matter.
Yeah. All right, 110 people in here. That's what I'm talking about. Hit that like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. All right. Also, super chat. If you're trying to do a super chat, we do a little different over here. That pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Streamlabs page, or you can hit up our Cash App $ LBHT Show. That's what that QR code is under B. Okay, both ways. You can leave your donation, leave your comment, and you get an animation on the screen. We'll read your comment on air. All right. Also, like it says up there, check out our merch, LBHTShow.com/shop. If you like what we're wearing, we got that up on the store. Also, we got a Patreon that we do an overtime show. So we talk more of anything that you want after this. Okay. That's on Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. All right. We're going to be talking some movies, a little bit of Marvel MCU. Okay. Are they going the route of DCEU? Ew. We're going to talk about that and whatever else you want to talk about. All right. Let's see. Yes. Marcus is an $18 million cap hit this year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you make those type of moves on defense, right? Roquan is I'm not sure what his cap hit is, but he's getting paid a lot too. It's large, right? So every time we talk about offensive players and why you don't want to go and pay them because, oh, well, they may not be as good as they used to be. Oh, it costs too much money. But we run that risk on defense every time, and we don't look back, right? They're not performing. And I don't think these guys are washed. I don't think Marcus Williams and Roquan Smith are just bad players all of a sudden. They're having a bad stretch. I don't think they're bad players. But they're not playing well right now. And that's still not going to stop the Ravens from spending big money on another defensive player.
Yeah.
Right?
Indigo has a question. Who do you think is more important to get, Cooper Kupp or Max Crosby?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you, for me, it's tough because just on the surface of it, I would say Max Crosby.
Yeah,
but
he's a better player.
You know, but there's
right
two
now.
things. One, you've seen this movie before with the Baltimore offense where they're great in the regular season and disappear in the postseason, and that's happened with these specific players, right? And you can believe that it won't happen again this year, and I would be inclined to agree with you. But the fact is, it's happened. And then on the other side of it, I do believe they're going to get the defensive side of the ball together.
Me too.
Zach Orr is inexperienced. Obviously, he's in his 7th game, and but they have a lot of talent. And I think as the season goes on, they will get things together in the secondary. So you can make an argument that they don't have to go after anybody. But as we sit here right now, if we're going to say, hey, you can only have one of these players, you can only make one move at the deadline, it's Cooper Kupp or Max Crosby, I'll go Max.
I'm going to go Cooper Kupp because, yes, Max Crosby, I think he's a better player right now, I think. Cooper Kupp isn't. I don't think he's washed, right? He's just gotten hurt. But Cooper Kupp, man, you talk about short hands. He's got the short hands. He knows how to get open. And even when he's not open, he knows how to make a catch. He knows how to draw a flag. He has all those veteran moves that you don't need to coach him on. Mm-hmm. He already knows how to do it. And you see him come up clutch in the Super Bowl. Like, he's already done it. He's a Super Bowl champion. He knows how to play in those moments in the postseason. He has that experience that the other guys on the team don't have. And the skill set that the other players on the team don't have. Not yet anyway. I think that's more important for this team because I've always said this. If you have to sacrifice a little bit of talent on the defensive side to get better on offense, then you go with the offense because ultimately the best talent on your team is Lamar Jackson. You have to surround him with enough help to get you to a Super Bowl victory. defense isn't going to do it. Like, they put all the money in the defense. The defense is failing us right now, right? We're a hot team. We're winning because of Lamar and Derrick Henry, but the defense is where we put most of our money in.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have to go one or the other, go on offense, right? It sucks to let somebody like Max Crosby go if we have a chance to get him, but I would much rather Cooper Kupp. Now, obviously, I would be mad they got Max Crosby, but Cooper Kupp is who I prefer.
Because it doesn't matter how many points you score, you put up if you can't stop the other team. It does, because if you can score more points than them, you still win the game. I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter how many times you stop the other team if you can't score.
Yeah, we've seen that already.
Yeah.
And what do you think has been happening these last 5 weeks? We haven't been stopping anybody.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't win that game on Monday because of defense.
No.
Now, granted, Marlo did come up with 2 clutch interceptions. That it would have gotten a lot more interesting if he didn't get that going. But I think Lamar's 5 touchdowns had a big part to do with it. I'm not even sure what the defense is ranked. I know we're dead last in passing and probably points against. All right. The defense isn't getting it done. When the defense has gotten it done, the offense hasn't gotten it done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he can tell you the stats in the playoffs, all of our playoff losses. We've held teams to under 20 points.
Yeah. The last 3, you got, the big 3 in the AFC, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. It was 17 for Mahomes, 17 for Burrow, 10 for Josh Allen, and lost all those games.
Yeah. Give me points. We have the talent on defense too. They're not playing well right now. I don't think they're trash. Roquan Smith is not a trash player. Marcus Williams is not a trash player. They're playing bad right now. They got to get better. They got to figure something out.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
It could just be different for the offense this year. Lamar's playing better than he ever has. Derrick Henry's playing great. Rashad Bateman is showing up finally. Zay Flowers is playing well. Andrews unlikely. I mean, I don't want to give Andrews too much credit for catching a couple of passes in the regular season. He's 7, 8 years in. You should be expecting more than that from him. But, it could be that this is the group that does show up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
like Paul says, good point. They're scoring at will, but not against the Chiefs. Yeah. We have to, we got to get more talent. The Chiefs, they're really good on defense. Right. And even though our defense was good enough to slow them down, their defense was even better. And we didn't have a Travis Kelce out there to make that play for us. Right. Now we have Derrick Henry this year. That's huge, but get more. Why not give Lamar more talent?
Travis says the truth is the whole point you go defense is because they're not getting it done. You don't go away from it. Travis, what was the outcome when the defense was getting it done? Which was the last several years that they've made the playoffs. The defense was getting it done. What happened?
Right. We've tried that already. This is my guy Adrian. What's going on? Press star 410 says Chiefs can't handle 30+ carries from Henry.
Reality would disagree with you, my friend.
Look, I hope you're right, but the Chiefs are good. Okay, and you look. This might be the case. We might have enough right now to just go all the way. That might be the case. What we're saying is, why not add more just to be sure? Right? We've already added everything to the defense. They're not playing well. Sorry, they're just not playing well. And the way that these guys are playing, guys that we know that can play, how do we know getting a Max Crosby or Myles Garrett is going to change anything?
Right.
You know what I mean? Madubuike isn't playing bad. Travis Jones isn't playing bad. Kyle Van Noy isn't playing bad. Our defensive front is playing really well.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this again, Travis, because he says defense wins championships. Why haven't you won one? Since Lamar Jackson's been there, because they've had top defenses. Why haven't you won a championship?
I got a better question for Travis. If we don't make a trade for a trade deadline and we just continue with this defense, are we going to win a Super Bowl? Do you think we can win a Super Bowl right now? Because we're one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Do you think we can win a Super Bowl? Yes or no? NDT Sports says, guys, we making no trade because we got worst GM on the planet. He's not the worst GM on the planet. I'm not
that guy is sitting in his office in LA saying, "Thank God I knew Kobe."
Well, that's a different sport. That's a different sport.
No, he said on the planet. He's a GM on planet Earth.
He's talking about Rob Pelinka. All right.
Talking about Kobe's friend.
Sticks Jones says, I've never seen or heard of Andy Reid saying, nah, I don't need more weapons. That's true. He went and brought back Kareem Hunt out of retirement. And Kareem Hunt is playing better than the other running backs.
No, Travis. Travis says, I think we can win.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. He says, I think we can win. What I asked you is, if defense wins championships and you've had great defenses, why haven't you won?
Well, he's answering my question. I asked, if we don't make a trade, do you think we can win? And he says, yes. Well, then defense wouldn't be winning championships then. We're one of the worst defenses in the league. So if you think we don't make another move, the defense isn't playing well, but we could still win, then that's refuting your point of defenses win
right.
championships.
He's saying defense held up last year. He said, I think we could have won last year. We went away from the run, and the defense held up. Okay, the defense held up, and you lost. So what do you mean when you say that defense wins championships?
Yeah.
I've seen offense win championships. I saw that in Kansas City when they had 14 seconds, to come back against the Bills, who had a top defense, and they had just dropped 40 on them. Their offense won them championship, right? Yeah. The Patriots, when they played the Eagles, when the Eagles had a top defense, and they dropped, I believe it was 41 on the Eagles. The offense won the championship. Oh, the offense lost, Travis, not the team? That's interesting. When did the defenders get their rings?
So the offense wasn't good enough. We just don't get better, right? Like, we gotta get better. I mean, we have gotten better with Derrick Henry. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm sure that Roquan and Marlowe and Nnamdi and all them are going to be thrilled to find out that their rings are in the mail.
But I don't want to pick on Travis, because a lot of people think this way, right? Because Ravens fans have been conditioned to think defense wins championships. Defense always has to be good, right? But when the defense isn't playing well, then we're going to blame Lamar, right? The offense didn't do their job. Lamar didn't do his job, because nobody talks about that defense. Yeah, the defense held up. Did they hold up? Because they didn't force a turnover. They didn't get the ball back at the end when we need them to get the ball back. Like, we need them to make plays in crucial moments. That's how you win in the playoffs. That's what their defense did, right? Get the stops that you need to get. Get that offense off the field to give your offense extra chances. They didn't do that. Mm-hmm. And they're damn sure not doing it this year. They'll get better. They'll get better. But they're obviously not the defense that they were last year. But the point is, like, you got to have to have some talent. The offense has to be good enough to score points. They obviously are this year. But we're talking about adding more. Okay? If they're going to make a trade, should they go offense? Should they go defense? A lot of people say defense because the defense is looking bad. And I'm not against that if it's somebody like Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett is a playmaker, right? You can have playmakers on both sides of the ball. Myles Garrett is that guy. When we need to get that ball back, he's going to get the ball back, right? He's one of those guys when he is set on getting to the quarterback. He's going to get to the quarterback. There's nothing you can do about that. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. Max Crosby is right there. He's right there. So I won't be mad at that either. Buda Baker, no, I'm good. Right? I just think the Zach Orr needs to do a better job putting these guys in the right positions. And the guys got to step up themselves. I need to see better tackling from these guys. Coach says need balance and the defense not carrying their weight right now. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Balance is great. But if you are going to be, better on one side of the ball right now in the NFL, that side needs to be the offense.
Yeah. Because, okay, Max Crosby and Myles Garrett are off the table. Who do you want to see them get on defense? That's the thing. Nobody believes that we're going to get Myles Garrett. Although I would argue, you never say never. Everybody has a price, even in division, right? But nobody believes we can get him. Max Crosby, let's say, hey, we're just not going to get Max Crosby. They wanted too much for him. They wanted a 3rd round pick. We can't afford that. It's too rich for our blood. Who is the next person? I mean, I heard Stunt J say Buda Baker, but who else? Okay, is Micah Parsons available? That's a good question. How you feel about Micah Parsons, B?
I mean, he's not going anywhere, I don't think. But he's a very good player.
We're talking hypothetically.
Yeah, he's a guy. If he's available, yeah, sure. You go and get Micah Parsons, unless you're the Carolina Panthers. Then you draft a corner who can't stay healthy and can't cover one of the biggest wide receiver busts of recent years, and Quentin Johnston. That's a personal choice. You do whichever one you want there.
Yeah. Okay. Charm City Don says Clowney. You would take Clowney. You would want Clowney over Cooper Kupp? Or are you just saying, hey, the next person down is Clowney? D Weezy says next defensive player for a Ravens should be Cooper Kupp. There you go. Charm City, you spelled his name wrong twice. First he said clown, and then he corrected it to Clooney. It's not Clooney.
Yeah.
See, your phone is trying to tell you no.
Right.
Not that guy. NRG Manifest.
I'm sorry.
I was like, no. NRG Manifest said, I'm physically sick of the D-Hop news. I feel you.
Ali says, let's get Clowney out of prison in Carolina. Listen, he's only in prison in Carolina because y'all didn't want to pay him. So,
right.
So deal with the consequences of your cheap ass GM.
He's in a very nice cell. Okay.
Also this. You probably don't want him back. Clowney owns.
Yeah. Sanjay says it's a pass happy league. Our weakness is secondary. Put Marlo at free safety and move Arthur or TJ to slot cornerback. What makes you think Marlo can play safety?
Yeah.
And what makes you think Arthur? I mean, Arthur Millett, I like him. I think when he comes back, he'll help. What makes you think TJ Tampa can do anything for us? Just because we drafted him?
Yeah.
We drafted who's the other receiver that doesn't get on the field? Tez Walker.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Would you rather have Tez Walker right now or DeAndre Hopkins? Yeah. Okay. That was the cost.
Ravens need to get Crosby. Okay, I hear you. You think Josh Allen from Jacksonville is available? I like Josh Allen from Jacksonville.
Hines Allen now.
That's what he's calling himself?
That's his name. I mean, so he started going by that this year.
Okay.
Hines Allen, yeah.
Hines Allen. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one. Thoughts on the news that the Giants have been contacted about Cooper Kupp trade? That's a good question because I think Ferris is here. Ferris, are you here?
I think Ferris is still getting himself situated there.
He's getting himself together. That's a question for Ferris, who is a Giants fan. Okay, so we'll come back to that.
I can't imagine. Like, were they just trying to get advice? Why would you call the Giants? about your 30-plus-year-old receiver who makes a ton of money, and you expect to ship him to a team that has no aspirations of winning.
They should be looking for a quarterback. The Giants should be looking to trade for Russell Wilson or I don't know, somebody. What's a quarterback that could be available?
Okay, we're not going to talk about quarterbacks that could be available for the Giants because that's a Carolina thing right now.
But just in general.
Yeah, no. Obviously Justin Fields, I think he's going to be available after the season. I think that Green Bay will probably make Malik Willis available after the season. Outside of that, I don't think there's a whole lot in terms of the secondary quarterback market to look forward to.
I think this is a hot take, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you came to lunch break hot take. We don't give a lot of hot takes, but this is a hot take. I think another Dallas loss, Dak could be available.
I was very much on board with the Dak won't be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback next year, but not since they gave him the deal. They're not going to move on. They're not going to move on right after.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, allegedly Matt Stafford is available. The rumor was that Minnesota had contacted the Rams about him, but they said that's not true at all.
Okay.
Which, would make sense with the Sam Darnold comeback season. There's not a whole lot in terms of the quarterback market, and typically there isn't, right?
Yeah, true.
But I think Malik Willis is an interesting option. Justin Fields is an interesting option. Outside of that, you really want to go into the draft and get your quarterback.
All right, Ferris is here. Can we bring up Ferris?
Okay, well, let me go ahead and get that set up, and you talk a little bit more about whatever it is you're talking about.
Well, I want to bring up Ant0101NYG. I'm guessing you're a Giants fan. Says thoughts on the news that the Giants have been contacted about a Cooper Kupp trade. All right. I want to know what Ferris's thoughts are on a possibility of the Giants trading for Cooper Kupp.
Okay, and where is the thing here? I'm sorry, I need just another minute to see if
No problem. No
okay.
problem.
Yes.
Dak for an 8th round pick and Tim Tebow. This is what press start 410 says. Because it's really Jose. Now that's a hot take. Okay, I have to retract that. I forgot about his contract. Yeah, that's not really. If they hadn't signed him, yes, definitely. But no, they just gave him the contract. That's going to be extremely hard to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready?
Not yet. Almost. It's not being very cooperative here.
Okay. Take your time.
Just another minute.
I'll read a couple more. Let's see. And this guy's talking about guy don't give a crap about his franchise QB. Who? What are you talking about? NDT Sports. Filthy says, I'm telling y'all now, Henry will be a non-factor when we play Chiefs in the playoffs. Okay. I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, welcome Ferris to the show.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I don't know about that, Filthy.
I don't want to say non-factor, but that's my worry with this offense as well. Derrick Henry's last 3 playoff games, he's averaging about 60 yards a game and under 4 yards a carry. One of those against Kansas City. They're the top, arguably the best defense in the league. Right now, Derrick Henry, if things aren't blocked very well at the line, he's getting dropped pretty close to the line, right? Like he's getting a ton of yards before contact. And obviously if you can spring him and he gets a head of steam going, it's incredibly difficult to bring down. But otherwise, he's not making people miss. He's not breaking tackles in the backfield like that, right? And also the other part of it is they've got DeAndre Hopkins now. If they're able to get Hollywood Brown back, that's a scary offense. And if they start scoring, you are not going to run Derrick Henry. Just like you weren't running Derrick Henry against Tampa Bay when you were down 10.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, the key is to keep the game close in the fourth quarter. No, we don't hear you, Ferris.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you do that?
There we go. Yeah.
How about now?
Yes, we hear you.
Well, also too, we must remember those games. He was against Kansas City. He was with Tennessee, and Ryan Tannehill was QB, and they kind of like there was no respect for Ryan Tannehill. You know what I mean? So they bunched up on the line, and they just put like basically 9 men in the box, and were like, "Beat us, Ryan Tannehill, do it." And you couldn't. Ryan Tannehill couldn't beat Joe Burrow after the defense sacked him 10 times. You know what I mean? So Tennessee had no shot of beating Kansas City. But the difference here now is you're right, Brodny. He's a little older. He'll get dropped easier, but they have the X factor of the quarterback that's going to free him up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's that's that key, because you can't load the box against the Ravens, because Lamar will find something and you'll leave one-on-one somewhere, and then Lamar will find somebody open. You know what I mean? Ryan Tannehill, it's Ryan Tannehill. How many times have we talked about Ryan Tannehill as like, haha, Ryan Tannehill, that's funny. You suck. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like Tennessee's always been bad, right? Like Ryan Tannehill had a good game against Kansas City that year. He didn't throw for a ton of yards, but he threw, over 200 yards, a couple touchdowns, no interceptions. And the thing, really, what it comes down to is Derrick Henry's not making those plays himself, right? And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you roll out there against this Baltimore Ravens team, who you just saw in the conference championship last year, well, one, like I said, if you put up some points, they're going to go away from the run, because that's what they do.
yes.
But two, why wouldn't you say, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to stop Derrick Henry, because we know Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman ain't going to beat us.
It's a valid point.
We know from experience.
That's a valid point.
Yeah. It may not be true this year, but, that's how they're going to go into that game.
Yeah. Let me touch on that Cooper Kupp thing. Real quick.
Yes.
That is the most asinine comment I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoever created that rumor, no, not Anthony. It's not about him. I'm talking about that rumor. That whoever created that rumor and wherever Anthony got it, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Why the hell the Giants acquired?
Is his name Anthony
or Ant? Ant. I thought.
I was about to say, do you know him?
No, I'm just saying. Short for Ant. I don't know. It could be Antonio or Antoine. I don't know. Whatever you prefer. My
so it could be
Anthony.
not Anthony. Okay.
It could be
All
not
right.
Anthony. That's right. My bad. But I assumed Anthony. My apologies. Yeah, that's just dumb. Why would you get it? Even if this is true, why would you get a wide receiver who would be then nullified? Hey, Anthony was right. I was correct. Score. No, like you'll nullify another wide receiver. Like he's made certain receivers like, okay, like, I'm sorry, but like, you're telling me Jalen Hyatt don't know how to run any routes in the 3 years he's been in the NFL? He hasn't learned a single thing? No, it's because our quarterback can't throw. It could be possibly, but also too, he's shown some deep threat capabilities with Tyrod Taylor. So you're telling me Tyrod Taylor can unlock him best because our quarterback can't throw the deep ball. You know what I mean? Right. It just can't. That's not possible. He's basically useless. Jalen Hyatt's useless. Cooper Kupp, he's a lot of intermediate routes. I don't see there's a lot of deep stuff he works with, so that probably could work. But we're 2-5, bro. We're 2-5. Our biggest problem is the quarterback. Why we get another wide receiver? It's like when we got Darren Waller last year, and we're like, "Ooh, Darren Waller," but it didn't fix anything. Exactly, Anthony. It's pointless. It didn't fix anything. This isn't going to fix anything. Offensive line's a mess. QB needs to be gone. We actually don't need wide receivers right now yet. So it makes no sense unless you're loading up for your rookie QB you're going to draft next year or the year before or the next year, this year or next year. And honestly, it makes no sense. We're 2-5 right now. The Germany game is going to be the first overall pick game. We beat Carolina. Carolina beats us. That's who's getting the first round pick. Germany. You know what I mean? That's the game, really. So we got Malik Neighbors. More weapons is fun, but our biggest problem is the QB. We need a QB. It's over. And I'm not mad at Daniel Jones anymore because I know what he is. The organization needs to stop lying to itself.
Yeah.
You messed up. Joe Shane messed up. He hasn't built this roster. He's had a couple of hits in the draft. depending on draft position, like Micah McFadden, Kayvon Thibodeau, Malik Neighbors, they're hits. But Evan Neal isn't a hit. Joshua Zudu isn't a hit. Marcus McCathan got cut. Darian Beavers got cut. You know what I mean? A lot of his draft picks are not, Taylor Newbin, Drew Phillips. They look good this year. Cordell Flott, I still don't understand what he is. I still don't understand what he is, to be quite honest with you. He's still not even 200 pounds. Still. That's crazy.
Coach says Shane's son is a better GM than him.
Yes. Yes, he is. His son was like, yo, that Jaden Daniels, you need to go get him. And you know what? He didn't even try. They didn't even try. I'm sorry. They didn't try. The Hard Knocks stuff that they released didn't make them look good. It just made them look stupid. It made them look stupid, to be quite honest with you.
Hold on 1 second here, Paris. Michael says Lamar is good, but he's 1-5 against Mahomes. Couple things. Lamar's great.
Great.
But yes, they are 1-5 against the Chiefs, and I know that kind of gets put on the quarterbacks, as it always does. Lamar's 22-1 against the NFC. It's the Ravens, but yeah, the real thing there is that the Ravens are coached by John Harbaugh and the Chiefs are coached by Andy Reid, which is why we always say you need overwhelming talent in Baltimore because he is not going to outcoach Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. And that's the thing. Like, this offense looks great right now, and they've had offenses that looked unstoppable in the past, and they get to the playoffs, and it's not even always the Chiefs, but they get to the playoffs and they get stopped. And a big part of that is coaching.
Think about the narrative that they put out there.
Fans, man.
Think about the narratives that are put out there, right, by the Ravens gatekeepers that we've talked about. Okay, it's, hey, we need defense. The offense is good enough. Hey, you got some young pieces. They're gonna grow into that. We don't need this wide receiver, even though he's very talented. He's overpriced. He's not going to fit the system. He's going to be a diva, blah, blah, blah.
Can you go drop me real quick? I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. The offensive line is you got him. Okay. The offensive line will be fine. They'll be better next year. That's what EDC said. They'll be better. It's, don't invest in the offense whatsoever. Defense is what wins. Okay. It's all these narratives, right? But when you get to the playoffs, it's Lamar isn't getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the defense. It's Lamar. Lamar can't get it done. Harbaugh could have called some more run plays, but Harbaugh should have done this, but right, Harbaugh's been terrible in the playoffs as well. That's the other thing too. He doesn't call run plays in the playoffs. It wasn't just that Kansas City game. It's all their games.
It's been ever since Lamar's been in the league.
Yes.
They haven't run the ball.
Yeah. And there's no accountability for the head coach. There's no accountability for the GM. I mean, we always talk about fire G-Roll, fire this person, like fire Morningwig, fire Trestman. Y'all remember Mark Trestman, right? Fire Cam Cameron. It's always fire the offensive coordinator. People were mad about at Monken at points in time last year. Mm-hmm. It's always the coordinator's fault. Y'all mad about Zach Orr this year. It's always on the coordinator, not the head coach. Right? So we don't hold everybody accountable. It's all on Lamar to overcome all that stuff. Yeah, the coach sucked, but our wide receivers can't make plays, but the O-line can't block, but that's irrational thinking. So when I sit here and say Cooper Kupp over Max Crosby, that's why. All right. While Ferris is away, because we are close to getting out of here. All right, we ran a little bit over. Still over 100 people in here. Shout out to you guys. Okay, hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit the subscribe button. We're going to do quarter public opinion. Do we have questions this week?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a quick quarter public opinion. We'll do questions, and then we're going to go over to the overtime show. You can find that on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a real court, but it's a court that you need. Court of public opinion is about to begin.
And this
All right.
we have a very special. Wait, hold on. Did it switch back just now?
Yeah. We're on the right scene. Okay. All rise. Court is now in session. Now you switched it to the.
I didn't switch it. It switched back on its own. Let me
okay.
Let me go ahead. But it appears that Ferris is back anyway, so we need to update that.
Okay, we're gonna fix it.
Yeah, but this week, an absolutely ridiculous video came out over probably yesterday, the day before, of an MMA fighter making his debut in boxing, and it did not go particularly well. But let me see if we can.
You gonna transition to the other scene? Bring Ferris in.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yes, I have the. Hold on. While you're doing that, let me bring up the story here. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Let's see.
There we go.
You switching it up? Okay. All right.
Guilty.
Here we go. You don't even know what the story is.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right. Ferris is here. It didn't bring it up. That's all right. I got it. But I have the story. All right. You guys can see that?
Yeah.
That's a tweet from Michael Benson. Undefeated MMA fighter. Undefeated, he's 4-0. Idris Al something, I can't pronounce that last name, was losing his boxing debut over the weekend, and so he KO'd his opponent with a head kick. He was instantly disqualified, but has posted the clip and boasted that kick with the leg I threw was a machine gun, right? So I had the video here. I'm going to play it in a second. But essentially what happened is this guy, he's from one championship, I believe, B. MMA fighter. Lots of MMA fighters want to get into boxing because it's more lucrative than MMA.
Yeah,
right?
They have more protections.
And he got into this boxing match, and it's a lower level fight, obviously. And I don't know if I think some MMA fighters are under the impression that boxing's easier, right? Because when we came up watching UFC, there was a lot of that narrative out there that MMA is a lot tougher because you got to do stand-up game and ground game. Oh, and we got a donation. I can't read that. What does that say, B?
There was not a message with it. But thank you to AD for the donation. If you did have a message that didn't come through, go ahead and let us know in the chat, and we'll read that.
I can't hear you, Jose.
Well, B, read that one more time because you're drowned out. Ferris, B, why is Ferris covering up the donation?
Because the layers are wrong.
That's okay. Who was it from?
Bottom. That was from AD. Thank you very much for the donation. There was not a message. If you did have a message that didn't go through, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll read that.
Okay, so this MMA fighter. A lot of MMA fighters think boxing's easier, right? It's just a stand-up game, it's no ground game, right? I can get in there. You got the padded gloves, and why did Ferris leave? You took him off?
No.
You still on the? No, he's not on the screen anymore.
I've disappeared. I'm back.
Okay. All right. So I'm pretty sure this guy was under that impression, right? And I'm going to play the video. It's a short clip. It's like 20 seconds long of this guy losing a fight, right? That's him right there.
Which one?
Oh, they're both right. You'll see in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not going well for him. Okay. Getting jabbed up there. Boom, leg kick. Out. All right. He's out.
And he's wearing shoes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. There it is. and he's bragging about it.
Yeah. You're bragging about, violating the rules and kicking somebody who was not in a position to defend themselves because you're not allowed to kick in boxing.
Yeah,
And he
that
was
could be.
far enough away that there was no chance of him actually punching him. So there wasn't any reason to be looking for any shot to the head.
Yeah, that's assault, bro.
Yeah.
That's criminal. That's criminal assault. You can go to jail for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from what I read, they say he's been banned from boxing for life. I don't know what that means because there's a bunch of different organizations and entities or whatever.
They don't listen.
So I mean that boxing organization that he's a part of for sure banned him for life, and I'm sure there's probably an understanding that he's not going to box anywhere ever. But is that enough? Do you think they should take it further? I think he should just be banned from combat sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to put on display that you don't care about the safety of anyone involved in the event like that, then you shouldn't be part of those events.
Yeah, because you already know it's inherently dangerous. Everyone, like both fighters, know there's a probably like a 5% chance we could die in here. We already know that, and you then break a rule that makes it more dangerous and more catastrophic. Lifetime ban of all combat sports minimum. Throw him in jail for like a year or two. You know what I mean?
That's what Judge Alice says. Put him in jail. He should be arrested.
Exactly. He should be arrested. Because you've already made a deal with your opponent, and you already know this. If this goes sideways, one of us could die.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We So you then adding a head kick when there's no such, it's not allowed in this. That it's permanent ban. I agree, Jose. Permanent ban and some jail time minimum. For me.
I'm surprised. Oh, and we got a donation. I'm surprised about the donation. Shout out to AD. Says, keep up the good work, fellas. Oh, that's for my guy, Adrian. Hey, thank you, Adrian. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Salute to you. Yeah, I'm surprised that the other corner didn't bum rush him when that happened.
Yeah, I would have hopped in. I would have hopped in the ring, dog. I would have whooped his ass.
Yeah. Boxing is you gotta respect the art. You gotta respect the sport. I mean, respect any combat sport. And he didn't have any respect for it. And for him to brag about it afterwards, he should just not be fighting anywhere. He's fighting in ONE FC. They should ban him from ONE FC. ONE FC, I like their organization. I think they put on good shows. They should not stand for anything like that.
Nah.
That's a straight up punk move.
Anthony says it's bad he kicked him and it is a ban, but on the same hand, I know he's not a real boxer, but did Logan Paul not punch someone when he had him in a headlock whilst he was down? I'm not sure what incident you're referring to, or even if you mean Jake Paul, because I mean, as far as I know, Logan only had one or two.
Yeah, the Floyd one and
boxing matches, but those are two inherently different situations. Boxers get tied up all the time. You are allowed to punch in the clinch. If somebody goes down, obviously that's a disqualification. But there's also, there's times where somebody could be on their way down or down and you not even know it. People are leaning over, things like that. This is a guy who was just frustrated and said, I'm going to throw a kick because I know he's not expecting it, and I'm going to connect. He's going to go out, and there's not going to be any consequences.
And then this is a real boxing fight. With the Logan Paul things, we also have a tinge of like, is this really a real fight? You know what I mean? Like, this one was a real sanctioned fight between probably some up and coming boxers or newly boxers or former MMA guy trying to transition. So like this is a real sanctioned fight in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? He threw that kick intentionally. It wasn't even like he tried to say, "Hey, it was just a reaction. I haven't had that much experience. It was just a kind of an instinctual thing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry." He didn't offer up an apology. He meant to throw that kick because he was losing the fight, and you're throwing it against a guy that wasn't prepared for a kick. So essentially defenseless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and you're gonna respect the rules, and you don't.
And he said, "Yo, my kick is a machine gun," basically saying like, "I just killed a man." You know what I mean? So like, just throw him in the gulag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Throw away the key.
So this is an easy one. We don't need to vote on this.
He's
right?
guilty.
I mean,
he's guilty.
He's guilty. The only question is, should he be banned from all combat sports? I say yes. I don't think he should be able to get a license to fight anywhere. And honestly, I don't think he will. You know, obviously he's banned from boxing, but I think he's going to find a hard time getting MMA fights.
Insurance
He
purposes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Local fights or whatnot,
Yeah.
shark fights if they're still around. But I don't think anything major is going to happen for him.
It's
So
like
if he is a guy
Joaquin
with
Phoenix, man.
talent, sucks for you.
There you go. I threw up the poll just in case anyway. Put in hashtag boxing if you think he should be banned from boxing. Hashtag all if you think he should be banned from all combat sports. I'm going hashtag all on that one. There's no room in combat sports for anything like that. Because like Farrah said, it's already a very, very dangerous situation.
Ron Edwards says, just got here. Welcome, Ron Edward. You're late, but that's okay. You're here. Who are we talking about? We're talking about an MMA fighter who recently did a boxing match and he threw a head kick, knocked the guy out. He did it intentionally. Wasn't an accident. Wasn't an instinctual thing. He meant to throw it, knock the guy out, and now he's banned from boxing. So the question is, should he be banned from hashtag boxing? He's already banned from just boxing, or should he be banned from everything? Hashtag all. Okay, all combat sports. That's why I argue he should be banned from all combat sports and jail time. Okay.
And I did see, and since you give people a little time to put in their vote if they want to vote, I did see a comment saying that MMA is harder, boxing is different, and I just want to point out I don't really think that's true. I know a lot of MMA fans believe that, but we have seen boxers go into MMA and win. Not really so much the case going the other direction, and I think the reason is, now granted, I mean, MMA fighter in an MMA match against a boxer is going to win 99% of the time. Yes. But the stand-up is a part of MMA. And boxers, they have much better hands than anybody that you see in MMA. Any of them. They're now, granted, in like you saw in that clip, the kicks are a thing that they have to learn to deal with. But if you can get in the ring and you can land a couple of punches, you can put somebody out real, real fast in MMA. And those guys are not as defensively sound in the stand-up as boxers are.
Yeah. Like Press Start 410 says, how many MMA guys can be a top boxer? None of them.
No, zero.
And to be fair, the top boxer, or boxers aren't really going to be able to beat top MMA guys.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
But to be fair, hey, Francis Ngannou did come into boxing and floor the lineal champion. So
he did.
There is that.
That's true.
But then he fought a guy who has some skill, and we saw how that ended for Francis. It did not end well. And
then Francis then fought an MMA heavyweight and beat him. See? Like, you see how it is? In MMA, he looked better against the MMA, and this guy was like 6'9", you know what I mean? And he still beat him. Like, no, because here's the thing is, James Toney and Randy Couture, they were both 43. And then Randy Couture and James Toney, Couture told Toney, come fight me in MMA. And Toney was like, I'm going to whoop your ass, man. And Randy Couture, and he said, he had like a Randy Couture doll and he had him in a dress. He's like, ooh, look at you, Couture, Randy. Then Randy took him down and choked him out.
Yeah.
In less than a round and a half. You know what I mean? Or like, I think it was like half a round or something.
Now, on the flip side of that, Holly Holm, boxing Hall of Famer,
yes,
beat up Ronda Rousey.
Well, yeah. But then look what happened. What happened the following fight?
Holly did have a history in kickboxing prior to boxing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then when she fought a woman with a more refined stand-up game, unlike Ronda, she ended up, losing. Miesha Tate beat her at UFC 100, and then she ended up choking.
All around, she had a solid career.
Yeah, she did. She had a very solid career, and then she fought Amanda Nunes. She came back and fought Amanda Nunes, and then everyone was like, Holly has a chance, and then Amanda Nunes kicked her head off. Exactly. So because you saw the evolution, right? Like initially, Ronda dominated everybody, but everyone knew about Ronda's deficiencies, but everyone ignored them because she was taking girls out in like a minute. Armbar here, armbar there, armbar here. And then she finally fought someone who has a refined stand-up game and good wrestling because of Jackson Wink wrestling, and Holly Holm, she got beat down. And then, it happens.
Shout out to Bazel for a $27.58 donation. What does Bazel say?
Bazel says, "Be mo, get mo. Be more, gets more.
Be more, gets more." Hey, appreciate you,
Thank you,
Bazel.
Bazel.
Salute to you.
But everyone knows that it's more money in boxing than MMA because of the laws that protect them over the years that have helped them. Because the day I found out boxers make more money than MMA fighters, like the day when I found that Regis Prograis, shout out to Regis. Regis, he's famous-ish. Everyone kind of knows him, but the casual kind of doesn't know him. When Regis got at least like I think 9 million or 10 million in one of his fights, and then I found out that, I think it was like Haney or somebody. No, I think it was before Haney, and then Haney also got. And then I found out that John Jones, we can agree that John Jones is one of the most famous combat athletes in the world, right? John Jones, right?
Yeah.
Correct. He got $500,000 for one of his fights.
Yeah.
And then it got to like I think 3 million due to pay-per-view points. So I'm like, wait, John Jones, who everybody knows, the good and the bad, everybody got a max of 3 million. That was said, but Regis, no offense to Regis, not lesser known. No one really cares about him like that. Got 9. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at this, and I'm like, I don't like that's crazy because Regis has the law and protections around him, the Ali Act that helps him in negotiations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John Jones got nothing.
Yeah.
John Jones got nothing.
And Adrian says it right here. Says, blame the UFC. That monopoly hasn't been good for MMA fighters.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
That's why a lot of people are leaving and going to PFL. And PFL is adding more money to it, with their super fights in Saudi Arabia, their money, the influence in, like they got Francis. They're allowing them to also box. Carissa Shields is a part of PFL as well. So if PFL in a couple of years, man, they may add some more because you get $1 million straight.
They're definitely going to give UFC some problems in the future. All right, let's go over to submitted questions and let's get up out of here.
Well, we still have to do the picks as well.
Oh, we got to do the picks. You want to do the picks now? Or you want to do? All right.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the picks. Did you upload the schedule?
Yes, I did. Go to that. Go to the screen. And I'll put the picks on there.
This is just. I mean,
While B is doing that, all right. We're gonna do week 8 picks. We're gonna do this quick, rapid fire. Then we're gonna do submitted questions, and then we're gonna go over to the Overtime Show. You can find the Overtime Show on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to the Overtime Show. You get access to our Discord. It's a lot of fun. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you can get yourself an LBHT Crew coin like this one right here. Yes. All right. Got all kinds of perks on there. If you're not quite sure, you want to get a feel for it, go over to patreon.com/LBHT Show. You can spend $3 just for this episode that we're going to talk about tonight. So you can kind of get a feel for the Overtime Show. We're going to be discussing some MCU. Okay. There's some news coming out lately about a certain actor possibly joining the MCU and just how we feel about the MCU in its current state right now. Not too happy with it. Okay. I think it's going in a bad direction, but maybe you guys can talk me off a cliff. All right. That's going down in the Overtime Show. Plus, whatever else you want to talk about. You want to talk some more Ravens? We can talk Ravens, whatever. Okay. We have a lot of fun over there. So check it out. All right, B, are you ready? He is ready. All right. Now I need to pull up the schedule. This is week 8, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Bam. There we go. All right. We're going to go fast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Thursday night, we've got the Minnesota Vikings at the LA Rams. Minnesota coming off their first loss of the season. LA Rams dismantling their offense, apparently. Going with the Vikings on the road.
Skull.
Yep. Vikings. Let's go.
Yes.
Baltimore at Cleveland. We talked about this earlier. I think this is a big win for Baltimore. I'm going to say 31-14.
Baltimore. They won 14. Okay. I like that score. I'm going to say 35-24 Baltimore.
34-20 Baltimore.
Next up, we've got Tennessee at Detroit. Tennessee as far as I know, are still the Titans, just without DeAndre Hopkins now. So I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Big.
Going with the Fighting Dan Campbells. Let's bite those kneecaps.
Next up, we got Arizona at Miami. Arizona's been scrappy, but Tua is back. Tyreek is very excited, and I think Miami wins this one going away.
Ooh,
I agree.
I got Arizona. I got
Yeah,
Arizona.
Miami. Bounce back game.
The New York Jets at the New England Patriots. God awful game. I guess I'll take the Jets.
I'll take the Jets.
Yeah, I got the Jets.
Next up, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Baker's going to be making more Baker decisions, so Atlanta wins this one.
Go ATL, baby.
Yeah, they got
Baines.
too many injuries this last game. I agree with y'all. Atlanta.
Philadelphia at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not a good team. Neither is Philadelphia. But I'm going with the fighting frauds from Philly.
Cincinnati.
Wow. Hating. I got Philly.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Green Bay at Jacksonville. Jacksonville has the look of a contender, but not the skill of a contender. So I'm taking the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, yeah. That's easy. Packers.
Colts at Houston. Anthony Richardson is back. Not playing very well, though. So I'm going to take the Houston Texans.
Yeah, Houston. I'm going Houston.
I got Houston as well.
Next up, New Orleans at the LA Chargers. This is another one of those can we please make this not happen games. Spencer Rattler is starting on one side being coached by Dennis Allen. Justin Herbert starting on the other side being coached by Jim Harbaugh. So I'm taking the Herbert and Harbaugh side.
Chargers. Go, Chargers, go.
Yeah, Chargers.
Buffalo at Seattle. I think this is a pretty good game. Fairly evenly matched, but with Amari Cooper arriving in Buffalo and them kind of needing to kickstart things a little bit, I'm taking the Bills on the road.
I don't know. There's something about the Bills, man.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, guys. Bang, bang.
I'm going Seattle at home.
Okay. Right, even after the circling the wagons thing. All right. Yeah. Next up, we got Chicago at Washington. Jaden Daniels did not practice, even though they said it was not a major injury. I'm going to go ahead and take Chicago in the upset, counting on that defense and Caleb Williams having turned things around the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Bears.
You got the Bears?
The Bears.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jaden Daniels plays. I'm going to go with the Bears.
Carolina at Denver. As we recently found out, Bryce Young is going to be starting. So there's that. Going to take the Broncos in a low-scoring, not very entertaining affair. Gonna go 17-10 Denver.
That would be a win for Bryce and that team.
Be a win for the defense.
I'm gonna go Denver a little bit more. I'm gonna say 24-13 Denver, but competitive game.
Yeah, because let's go 24-17.
Okay.
Denver.
Kansas City at Las Vegas. Not sure if DeAndre's suiting up this week. I assume he is, but we haven't heard for sure. I had picked the Raiders in an upset yesterday, but now with DeAndre Hopkins arriving, I'm rethinking that, and I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Yeah, I got Kansas City.
Go on the fighting Patrick Mahomes.
There you go.
Jay's asking, Bo Nix is not going to look better than Bryce, is he? Well, he is better than Bryce, so yes.
Did you know Bo isn't short for anything? That's his actual name?
Yeah. It's one of the many reasons I didn't like him. Next up, we got Dallas at San Francisco. This used to be like the marquee matchup in the NFL. And now this is a time for all the rest of us to kind of point and laugh. Brandon Ayuk is gone for the season. Not sure if Debo is going to be playing. He recently got out of the hospital with pneumonia. I'm taking Dallas on the road to put another nail in Kyle Shanahan's coffin.
Oh, man.
Go Niners.
Yeah.
Go Niners.
Oh, yeah, I'm going Niners, man. Like, yeah. This is big for both coaches, right? I don't think Debo plays either. But I still got the Niners.
That's bold of both of you taking Brock Purdy in a game without Christian McCaffrey, Debo, or Brandon Ayuk.
Still got Kittle. Still got who's that running back? Mason.
Yeah. They certainly do still have Kittle, the top tight end in name only.
No, he's still good. I'm not saying he's a top tight end. He's still good.
No. He is good. They don't throw him the ball like he is.
Yeah, and they still got better defense.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's true. And Micah and DeMarcus, they're still out, unless that changes in the next couple of days.
Y'all are gonna feel real dumb. You're gonna sit there and realize that you really, really overthought this when Brock Purdy throws 3 more interceptions.
I'm not gonna feel anything about this. I'm gonna forget this conversation even happened as soon as we hit the credits.
I'll tell you what. If I had any editing ability at all, I would clip it, but we know that's not going to happen. On Monday, we've got the New York Giants at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the revitalized Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers who are out there, pushing the moonball merchant, the grifter, Russell Wilson, because he can just throw the ball in the general direction of George Pickens. Not sustainable at all, but it is going to work for one more week. They beat the Giants at home.
Pittsburgh. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I got Pittsburgh.
That was a reflex. I apologize.
All right, and that is it.
All right, B. Let's make this quick. We got submitted questions because we are closing in on 2 hours. We can't hit 2 hours.
We do have submitted questions. Let me see.
Hit the animation.
The Rooney Mara Bowl.
Hold on. Wait a minute. My goodness. Well, I think we're actually, let's see if we have the other scene here. Yeah.
You got it set up?
Okay, here we go. I don't know why the schedule is up on this scene, but we will take care of that momentarily.
No, you didn't hit the animation though.
I'm putting on the 3-person scene because we have 3 people here.
Okay. You want me to take the schedule down?
Hold on. I'm talking about on this scene. I don't know why it's up, but here we are.
All right. You gonna take that down?
I took it down already.
Yeah, it's not down. It's still on the screen. There we go.
All right. Okay.
Submitted questions, and Ferris decided to take off.
Wow. Incredible.
I dropped my phone.
I see. All right. First question.
Stop playing with stuff, man. All right. Both these questions are from Jay because Jay is the worst hint taker on the planet. He finds us on Twitter and asks 2 questions. This first one, do you think Anthony Davis can win Defensive Player of the Year, especially after he cooked the current one? The current one being Rudy Gobert after the Lakers beat down Minnesota last night in the opening game of the NBA season, because as Ferris knows, there was no other game yesterday.
No, there wasn't. It was just one game.
The answer is yes, he absolutely can. It's a question of, if he's able to stay healthy and if that's something that he wants as a goal. Like that's something he's kind of striving for, because he is a little bit older, and it could very well be that he's not going to want to put in that effort every single night to win Defensive Player of the Year. But Anthony Davis is one of the most talented players in the league, period. He's a great offensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league. If he wants it, he can absolutely win it.
Give it a couple of days, he'll be on the bench and street close.
Rude.
Yeah, I mean, look, the injury history is why I'm saying no as well. Yes, he's talented enough to do it. Will he dedicate himself to do it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Adrian says Defensive Player of the Year usually is on a top 5 defense, so no.
the Lakers are a very good defensive team, but that is okay.
It's only been one game, so like, let's wait a minute.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
Next
Hey,
question.
you know they're investigating Joel Embiid, the
they
NBA.
are indeed investigating Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid does not like to come to work. Okay, and
They're counting how much PTO he has left.
yeah. The next question, like Joel, I swear to God, you were just off. Anyway, next question. This one is for Jose.
Okay.
Also from Jay. Is Lamar's ability to boost everyone around him hurting his chances of getting a top or a proven wide receiver?
Well, no, it's his organization that's hurting his chances of getting a proven top wide receiver. It doesn't matter what he does out there. They're not going to help him. They've already decided that they're not going to spend any money improving that side of the ball. And this is what I used to call the black quarterback treatment, right? You get a black quarterback that shows some talent, especially some athletic talent, and the front office's mindset is they can do more with less, right? I think getting Derrick Henry is a product of how dominant he's been, right? He's gotten 2 MVPs already. He's got one after he got the big contract. That's always the thing, right? Well, what are they going to do after they get their contract and they got to work with less? Well, it turns out when you're already working with rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Mm-hmm. So he only looked better after his contract, right? And now they're giving him Derrick Henry, and he looks even better. Who knew?
Yeah,
who knew?
It's absolutely just a front office thing because all you have to do is go through the list of top quarterbacks, right? Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs and now has Amari Cooper. Pat Mahomes had Tyreek Hill. They now brought in DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown. They drafted Xavier Worthy. They drafted Rashee Rice.
Joe Burrow. Kelsey.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow. He has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Aaron Rodgers, who's not even a top quarterback at this point. They just brought in Devontae Adams to add to Garrett Wilson, to add to Alan Lazard, and to add to Mike Williams. Every organization, when they have a quarterback who they believe is a top guy, they believe is a guy who can win them a Super Bowl, they surround them with talent. Baltimore does not. Brock Purdy, Debo, they kept Ayuk, they drafted Ricky Pearsall, they re-signed Jawan Jennings. Everyone does it except for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. That it?
That is it. That is
all
it.
right. We did, ladies and gentlemen. Still 75 people in here. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we do.
There was a time where, we were very comfortable with getting just 10 people in this chat. Okay. That's when we had a set 1 hour show. We were trying to get through our talking points and be done really in less than an hour. And we felt really good about that. Then people start showing up. We started reading comments. And we're like, we can't do any more 2 hour shows. Okay. We have to do it under 2 hours, which is what we're going to do tonight because we're dangerously close to 2 hours. But we got the overtime show coming up. All right. Ferris may or may not be there. But we appreciate you, Ferris, for spending time with us tonight. Let the people know real quick where they can find you.
So no WNBA wrap-up?
Okay, real quick.
All right, guys.
WNBA. Very quick.
Very good. I got you. WNBA wrap-up, guys. We had game 5 on Sunday. It was a great game. A lot of controversy in this game. Towards the end of the match, Breanna Stewart did travel numerous times, but then she was fouled by Alana Smith at the end, and then she got the foul. She hit the 2 free throws this time.
I'm sorry, I did that.
You can't just
that was me. I was trying to switch to the basketball thing. There we go. Go ahead.
I'm trying to do it quick.
Go ahead.
The New York Liberty broke their championship franchise curses, going 0 for 5, but now they're 1 for 6 over all the time. Teresa Witherspoon was in attendance, seeing it, being that she's one of the greatest players in WNBA history and the Liberty's greatest player of all time. And then pain and suffering was on the Minnesota Lynx side. Cheryl Reeves said it in the press conference. We were robbed. It was stolen from us. So controversy has arisen. But guys, it is over. Yes, the WNBA season is over. A great season by the But basketball isn't done, especially women's basketball, guys, because coming up in a couple of days, it is college women's basketball. So remember these names very, very clearly. Kiki Ephrian, Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins. Those are the names coming up in the future that are going to change the game. Remember that.
All right.
Shout out to John Carl Jones for winning finals MVP as well. I don't agree with what ESPN did with their graphics showing Sabrina Ionescu, who went 1 for 19 in this game. She's lucky they won the WNBA championship because she would have been roasted. Because John Carl Jones losing in 2022, losing in 2023, winning in 2024. Shout out to the Bahamas? Bahamian goddess. There it is. John Carl Jones.
Well, first of all, Ferris, you don't get to go really fast the first time and then follow it up with a longer second thing. Second of all, massive hater for not mentioning Hannah Hidalgo, but whatever.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, she was. Yeah,
we
sure.
know you hate. We know you hate her.
Never trust the Notre Dame guard.
No Flage.
No Flage.
Well, Flage, big year for Flage because everyone's gone. She's the leader of the LSU team. So she's the leader, and we're gonna see what her leadership skills and how she operates in that Kim Mulkey system. Because I've realized something: Kim Mulkey doesn't know how to develop talent. Because every single Baylor player in the WNBA isn't as good as I think they are. Because they're really not. Except Brittany Grander. She did nothing, Gannady. Exactly nothing. Damn, I hate Breanna Stewart so much, but I love her so much. This how it feels like being on the other end. Sorry,
show's over.
Yeah, we said no 2 hours.
We're 9 minutes away, guys. Wrap it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, patreon.com/LBHT Show is where you can find us next. We're going to be doing the overtime show. So Patreon members, get ready. The overtime show is starting in a few minutes. Everybody else, have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Peace.